Lobbies and Gentlegrams, almost exactly 1 year after the Lullaby love song lawsuit losing Lunatic got a lick hit on him with Like That, the lyrical long shot from Kendrick, Metro, and Future, it looks like Kendrick might be doubling down with another ATL titan as the diabolical Drizzy Defamation Drake Detonator and Georgia's Dracula are dropping a gem tonight. The Opium Ozzy Osbourne and the bell-bottom Bone Crusher, the balding bearded belligerent BBL Buffoon are about to change the game. When have you ever seen two completely opposite universes collide, like a Playboi Carti and a Kendrick Lamar? What is this even going to sound like? But on a side note, I think Playboi Carti has taken a lot more inspiration from Kendrick Lamar than we ever thought, and there actually is a deep connection there, which we're going to touch on later. But just the sole fact that after Kendrick Lamar took 7 years off between Damn and Mr. Morale, and in between that we got an onslaught of non-stop recyclable formulaic music from the biggest players within hip-hop, Playboi Carti was the only one to take just as long of a hiatus as Kendrick Lamar, or actually a little bit shorter. But the last time we got a Playboi Carti album was over 4 years ago at this point, December of 2020. While you might have been masked up back then, tonight you're going to be gassed up by Kendrick's pen because, again, we're approaching the 1 year anniversary of Like That. We're going to break down everything we could expect from Playboi Carti's new album, all the information that was revealed by Big Academics. But first, I want to keep it on Kendrick Lamar for a bit because he has the opportunity to do something incredible tonight and absolutely make history for 2025, giving us almost as impactful of a moment as we saw right around the same time last year with another ATL native, Future, when he kicked this whole beef off to begin with. And on a side note, as I'm recording this video, before we jump into everything we know about what Kendrick's plans are tonight, what Playboi Carti's about to do, how that might change hip-hop, it looks like Drake is trying to jump in the mix as well, as he posted a bunch of pictures on his Instagram with the captions, "Sexier, solid as a rock, and still on my ones," which many people believe are song titles for brand new songs he's about to release tonight as well. He liked a post that was implying that he's about to drop new music tonight as well. And he's been constantly doing this, right? Every time Kendrick makes a moment, Drake has to come in and try to steal some of the spotlight. Kendrick did the Super Bowl. Drake a week later drops his album with Party Next Door. Kendrick drops GNX. Drake drops his lawsuit the same week. No surprise here that as Kendrick is gearing up to make history with Playboi Carti, Drake's trying to jump in the mix as well. But that's fine, that just means there's more opportunities for more stomps on the OVHO's head tops because we're about to get some new Kendrick music. So let's go through a bunch of things. First, this article from Hot New Hip Hop stating Kendrick Lamar allegedly featured on Playboi Carti's album I Am Music and he's taking shots again. This would mark Kendrick Lamar and Playboi Carti's first collaboration and joins other rumored I Am Music guests like Lil Uzi Vert. So, Playboi Carti has collaborated with Drake in the past, which made many people assume his position in the Six Gods battle with Kendrick Lamar. Still, he featured on Future and Metro Boomin's We Don't Trust You, so some fans still felt like there was some tension and that he was playing both sides. Because if you guys remember, there were many features like The Weeknd, Rick Ross, A$AP Rocky, possibly even Travis Scott, who were all on those Future and Metro projects, along with Kendrick, and all those guys, except potentially not Travis Scott, ended up having beef with Drake. So many people thought, okay, maybe Playboi Carti's taking a side here. And again, later in this video, you'll see there are actually a lot of ties between Carti and Kendrick that date back almost a decade at this point. Aside from that, something else that was suspicious between Carti and the OVHO was that Drizzy's No Face ended up dropping without the leaked contributions from the Atlanta artists. Basically, Drake leaked No Face with Carti's vocals on it, then they put it on streaming platforms and they weren't on there anymore. And now, OVHO has one final reason to believe that they might have to target King Vamp, because according to Akademiks, Kendrick will feature on Carti's new album I Am Music, and he's allegedly, quote-unquote, talking crap again. Now again, this would mark Kendrick and Playboi Carti's first ever collaboration, and if you're wondering what a Playboi Carti and Kendrick collab is going to sound like, then you're in the same boat as me, because how the hell are those two worlds going to collide? I mean, I could kind of see Kendrick and Kodak going back and forth like they did on Mr. Morale. Future and Kendrick have a couple collabs. They always sound good. Travis and Kendrick have collabed in the past. Kendrick is definitely no stranger to collaborating with trap artists, Atlanta trap artists specifically. If you guys don't remember, it wasn't just last March that we got Like That, a collab between ATL native Future and Kendrick. It's not just this March that we're getting another ATL collab between Kendrick and Playboi Carti, but it was also March of 2017 that we got the collab between Kendrick Lamar and the ATL native Ricch the Kid on New Freezer. And I see a lot of the OVHOs saying that this is hypocritical because Kendrick criticized Drake for, running to Atlanta to get a couple dollars, but there's a big difference, obviously, right? We'll explain that quickly. What Kendrick was saying was that before Drake ever collabed with a Future, before he got on records with 21 Savage, there was no knife talk, there was no Metro Boomin production, there was no lingo like sliming you out, there was no street talk, there was no live from the gutter. That only came after he started collaborating with Atlanta artists. That's what Kendrick was claiming, right? Thug made you feel like you're a slime in your head. You ran off with Lil Baby's lingo. You called Future to get those club bangers. You called 21 to give you, street cred. Those collaborations were beneficial for Drake because he was able to then incorporate their persona, their lifestyle, their heritage, their culture within his own music. Anytime Kendrick hops on a record with an Atlanta artist, he keeps his sound authentic and consistent. He's not cosplaying his Future. He's not talking about knife talks and sliming you out. In fact, like that, a record between Atlanta native Future and Kendrick was the catalyst for Kendrick to give us the most West Coast sounding album and song we've ever heard in his career with Not Like Us and GNX. He ran to Atlanta to do Like That to kick off this beef, which was again the catalyst for him to put on for his own hometown, his own heritage more than ever before. You're not hearing Drake collaborate with these Atlanta guys to start meshing Toronto sound with Atlanta trap. I don't hear no Young Thug and Smiley collaborations. I don't hear about any Majid Jordan and Future collaborations. Kendrick is creating moments with these Atlanta artists, but still keeping the music authentic to his own sound. So now, before we get into this Cardi album and everything we know, and what we could expect from I Am Music, because really, if you break it down, Cardi has the youth in the palm of his hands, right? He is by far the most influential rapper of the new generation. Like, the moment I knew I was getting old was when I heard Whole Lotta Red for the first time. Not one song resonated with me. To this day, I only like 2 to 3 songs off that project. But if you play close attention to the underground of the next generation, the Ken Carsons, the Yeats, Destroy Lonely, all of these guys have taken from the sound of Whole Lotta Red. Even one of the biggest hip-hop songs of the decade, Fiend, by Travis Scott and Playboi Carti, was a rage type record. It was heavily inspired by Playboi Carti's signature sound. Again, we'll touch on Carti more in depth later in this video, but given that he has the youth in the palm of his hands, with this 5-year hiatus, he has built up so much anticipation that he's gearing up to have one of the biggest albums of the decade. Akademiks said they already shipped around 150,000 copies of the album that went up as pre-orders on his website before it's even been released. Carti has the ability to make major change within hip-hop and heavily influence this next generation. So personally for me, selfishly for me, I should say, I'm hoping for no abstract rage, all over the place, yelling on the beat type of music. I want to hear something innovative, but I want to hear well thought out hooks, catchy melodies, not this low vibrational, yelling offbeat all over the track type of rage music. And I say that because I think whatever Playboi Carti does end up doing is going to take the next generation of hip hop in whatever lane he kind of chooses on this new album. And he actually played the entire album for Akademiks. Akademiks gave a bunch of clues in terms of what we could expect from the project, if it's for the diehard rage Playboi Carti fans or if it's for, the more general global audiences. So we'll touch on that shortly. But back to Kendrick. I think it's interesting, right? Because with Like That, with Future and Metro Boomin, we had actually heard a sample of that song played multiple times. Metro and Future previewed it at Rolling Loud. They previewed it at different clubs, but we didn't know Kendrick was going to be a feature on it. That feature ended up being a surprise. This is actually the exact opposite, right? We don't know what the song that's going to feature Kendrick on will sound like. We've never heard it. We just know Kendrick is a feature. Whereas with Like That, we knew what the song sounded like. We just didn't know that Kendrick was the feature. So what we could expect? Well, Akademiks says Kendrick is going to be talking that crap. He's back to taking shots.
Yo, buckle up, y'all. That nigga talking shit again. No leaks. No leaks. No leaks.
And aside from this, I mean, obviously Kendrick's on his victory lap right now, right? People can say it's over, the beef is over. I just did a video on, Drake and Kendrick's round 2 because we are witnessing round 2 right now, right? Kendrick did so much last year and built up so much momentum. You'd be dumb to think this is where he's stopping. And let's break it down, right? We know Kendrick is going on tour. We know he has a movie coming out this summer. There's different albums he's rumored to be executive producing. He's also supposed to be a feature on the new Clips album, which is obviously Pusha T and No Malice. That song already sounds insane. So in my guess, aside from, being pretty confident that we're going to get new Kendrick music just based off, everyone in his inner circle kind of saying, the best is yet to come pretty much, or that Kendrick's not done, I also think he's gearing up to go on an insane feature run. And if you break it down, Kendrick has never really had like a monumental, world-renowned feature run within hip-hop history. Like J. Cole between 2018 and 2023, right up to First Person Shooter, the song that kicked this whole beef off, he was going on an absolutely crazy tear with his features, right? He hopped on your song, you knew he was bodying it, he made it his own. There were lyrical showdowns like Lil Yachty's song, I forget what it was called, but it was from 2023. There was that Benny the Butcher's track, Johnny P's Caddy. He also had massive hits, like A Lot with 21 Savage. I think that won J. Cole his first ever Grammy. So it's like J. Cole was winning Grammys off his features. You could definitely say he had a crazy feature run. Drake too, right? The whole Drake stimulus package thing back in the early 2010s. When he first came in the game, both him and Nicki Minaj went on crazy feature runs. Go back and look at 2012, Drake was on a tear, right? You had No Lie with 2 Chainz, you had Stay Scheming with Rick Ross, you had Amen with Meek Mill, I'm On One with DJ Khaled, She Will with Lil Wayne, Moment for Life with Nicki, Pop That with French Montana. I'm forgetting some of them, but that was a crazy feature run. Later in the decade too, when he was going on that feature run with Blockboy JB, Lil Baby, Travis Scott, like there was definitely a vivid time where if Drake hopped on your track, it became a hit. Not so much today. You also had Lil Wayne, who went on a crazy feature run from 2006 to 2010, damn near. Then you had Future, who went on a crazy feature run, dropping diamond hooks over and over and over again. Kendrick has had some incredible features throughout his career, but I do think one thing missing from his legacy is a specific era where, like, once a month, you're getting a new Kendrick feature that either dominates the charts or he absolutely bodies the song, like practically making it his own. And I think we're gearing up for that, right? Like throughout this victory lap, Kendrick has given hip-hop fans basically everything you could want from a greatest of all time rapper. Insane diss songs, #1 albums, sweeping the Grammys, massive performances like obviously the Super Bowl and the Pop-Out show, uniting his city. The one thing missing, aside from his feature on Like That, was an insane feature run from Kendrick. I think this is the perfect time to do it. He already started featuring on SZA's song 30 for 30. Now we're getting a new Playboi Carti song, which I don't know what the hell that's going to sound like. Then we're getting a new song with Pusha T and No Malice. That's going to be lyrical warfare. And it's just the perfect time for Kendrick to go on a crazy feature run, especially if we don't get a new album. Focus all that energy into giving us some massive moments with your features. Then another crazy thing is, if this song with Cardi ends up being as big of a moment as people are hyping it up to be, and it ends up going #1 on the Billboard charts, Kendrick will make crazy hip-hop history where he'll become the first rapper to have 5 #1s in 12 months. Because Like That came out less than 12 months ago. On a side note, 2 things. Drop a comment if you guys want a video on the craziest feature runs within hip-hop, where I'll go through and break down all the different artists who had crazy feature runs, all the songs that they were featured on, all the moments that created, and then drop a comment if you also want a video covering the 1-year anniversary of Kendrick, Future, and Metro Boomin's song Like That, and everything that went down since then. But yeah, right now Kendrick technically holds the record of the first rapper with 4 #1s in a calendar year, because he had Like That, Not Like Us, Squabble Up, and now Luther. But technically, Drake has done the exact same thing, because if you really break it down, in 2018, Drake did have 4 #1 songs in 12 months. He had God's Plan, Nice for What, In My Feelings, and Sicko Mode. However, he wasn't technically credited on Sicko Mode, so that didn't count as a #1 song for him. So if you want to look at it on like a technical basis in terms of an artist that's credited on the song, Kendrick does hold the record of the only rapper with 4 #1s in a calendar year, but Drake does also have 4 songs that he is on that went #1 in 12 months. So if this Playboi Carti Kendrick track does end up going #1, that will be 5 #1s for Kendrick in a year, making him by far the first rapper to have that many #1s in that short of a time span, which would be absolutely crazy. Also, going back to Kendrick, always keeping things authentic on his features, I love the combination of like that trap sound with the, melodic hook, the 808 heavy instrumental, and then Kendrick coming in with straight bars. Like, I find there's often a lot of like monotony with these trap songs, right? You'll often get the same features, the Young Thugs, Lil Baby, Gunna, Future. They're all great, but together, with their harmonizing and everything, it kind of all blends into one. Kendrick is kind of like a pattern interrupt where he comes in again with those aggressive bars on that type of production. It's a good hybrid. And if you've been keeping up with, the type of production Cardi's been using, it's very dark. The samples are very abstract. This is like the perfect template or foundation for Kendrick to hop on and do some crazy weird stuff. Also, on a side note, this is the 10-year anniversary of To Pimp a Butterfly. So what better way to follow it up than with a feature on a Playboi Carti record? Like, for anyone who tells you Kendrick Lamar is not a versatile artist, look how he went from jazzy production on To Pimp a Butterfly, fueled with, societal commentary and these layered concepts and storytelling, to now 10 years later, we're getting Kendrick, allegedly, according to Akademiks, quote unquote, talking that crap on some Playboi Carti rage music. It's an absolute complete 180. Now, let's get into everything we can expect from this new Carti album, all the new music that the certified litigator Labry Graham might be dropping tonight as well to compete with Kendrick and Playboi Carti. And let's break down all the features that are about to be on Carti's new album, all his connections to Kendrick dating back over 10 years ago, and what this Cardi and Kendrick song is going to sound like. But first, Lobbies and Gentlegrams, I got to tell you guys about something that, unlike Drake, a bunch of you guys have been telling me you've been Anita Max winning some free cash from playing mobile games. So I want to put all you guys on to something that almost seems too good to be true. All right, let me give you a little glimpse into my life. When I'm not making this content for you guys, I have a disgusting addiction to my phone. My daily screen time is higher than Drake on that album cover, higher than Snoop off the edibles. So if you guys suffer that same addiction as me, I want to put you onto something that's going to change your life. FreeCash.com is a program that partners with mobile games that are looking for more users to play their games, and they will literally pay you to play their games for free. All you got to do is sign up using the QR code you see on the screen or using the link in the description of this video. You make an account super easy. All you got to do is put in your email, create a password, verify your email, and then you're good to go. And they got a bunch of games. My favorite is the Monopoly Go, because we're always on the go trying to make some money. Once you make an account, you just click the game you want to play, follow the directions that they give you. The directions are super easy. Usually you just got to download the game and start playing. So it's about time you put that phone addiction to good use. Again, use the QR code you see on the screen or the link in my description. Create an account and you could start making more than $150 just to play a game on your phone. So allegedly Cardi called up Akademiks last night and played him the album in full. So we'll break down everything that Akademiks has to say about it. Basically, he's saying that it's 20 plus songs. This is going to be the album of the year, and we're going to see some of the most insane features we've seen on a hip-hop album in a long time. And by the list of it, it definitely sounds like it. So firstly, much to my pleasure, if that's an expression, Cardi will not be going strictly in the direction of that kind of rage, hectic, chaotic music he's been doing over the last few years that's really, in my opinion, as an older head, I guess, been harder to digest. He's trying to make a real moment here. Apparently, according to Akademiks, this is like his Astroworld or his Carter 3 or his My Turn by Lil Baby or DS2 by Future. Those are the albums he compared it to, because for all those individual artists, those albums saw those artists at, the peak of their game, at the peak of their height, and they were their most globally accessible albums. And if you break it down also, the title I Am Music actually derives from Lil Wayne. He basically stole that title from Lil Wayne because Lil Wayne has I Am Music tatted on his forehead. I Am Music was the name of Lil Wayne's tour in 2009, and then he did another tour in 2011 called I'm Still Music. And on a side note, I was about 13 years old, 14 years old at that 2011 I Am Still Music show, and times were different back then, man. I was damn near a kid watching people smoke joints in the bathroom of that concert. You couldn't see Lil Wayne, there was so much smoke in the air. But yeah, I think he's going to take a lot of influence from Wayne on this project. He even shared a video of Lil Wayne performing Sky's the Limit on his Instagram story today. I hope the music takes some influence from, prime Weezy music as well. Out of a lot of the Atlanta trap guys, I feel like Playboi Carti takes the least amount of inspiration from Lil Wayne out of all of them. The Young Thugs, Lil Baby, Future. Carti doesn't sound like as much of a Wayne clone. But anyways, this is what Akademiks had to say. Basically saying if you're a true Carti fan and this album doesn't please you, you're basically an undercover hater because, yeah, it's not that niche rage music, but this is global music. These are anthems. This is stuff that every hip-hop fan can enjoy.
Cardi fans, if y'all ain't happy with y'all favorite artists after this, y'all were undercover haters. You gotta let Cardi be the biggest and greatest artist that he could possibly be, and he still got all the joints for y'all. So if y'all hate that there's new Cardi fans, because he's gonna get new fans with this. That's a fact. A lot of people gonna like his music. And there's an element where people are so selfish with their artists. They're like, nah, it's my artist. I don't want y'all. Nah, he's just mine. This is global, but it's not watered down. 100%. It's not watered down.
Now, as far as Playboi Carti's ties to Kendrick Lamar, if you go all the way back to January of 2012, before Good Kid, Mad City was released, Cardi was tweeting about Kendrick Lamar saying, just cop that Kendrick Lamar, probably implying he just bought Section 80. And based off what Akademiks heard, he's letting you guys know to buckle up because Kendrick is most definitely talking that talk once again.
Yo, buckle up, y'all. That nigga talking shit again. No leaks. No leaks. No leaks.
And in terms of Cardi's ties to Kendrick, way back in the Cash Cardi era, Cardi was chilling with Hida J3, who is a close associate of Kendrick. I believe Kendrick was the childhood friend of Hida J3's brother, and Hida J3 actually had one of the best verses off of GNX, one of the best feature verses. This is Cardi kicking it with Hida J3 way back in probably 2014.
In the house swag. Yeah.
Now, aside from Kendrick, we're also going to see features again from some insane acts. So you have the usual, right? in my opinion, with every trap project, if you don't have the Young Thug, Travis Scott, and Future feature, then you're not an ATL native. Like, if you look at Lil Baby's last album, if you look at all the Future projects, all the Travis projects, all the Thug projects, the Gunna projects, the Savage projects, like, by default, they all have the same exact features. And much respect to them. Like, they definitely keep it tight-knit. Atlanta's definitely unified. They're always on each other's songs. So, obviously, as a feature, you have by default Young Thug, Travis Scott, Future, of course. We've already heard the Future record. It leaked. You guys can go look it up for yourselves. But as far as why Cardi is finally dropping the album now, apparently it's because they started making the vinyls in a factory, and there were so many threats to people trying to break into the factory that they had to hire extra security. And Cardi had told Akademiks that if he didn't drop it right now, they would have leaked it by next week. As far as the other features aside from Future, Travis, and Thug, we'll go in order from most predictable to least predictable. So, according to Akademiks, A$AP Rocky's going to be on it. Apparently, he's dissing Relly. If you guys didn't know, A$AP Relly, I believe, was a childhood friend of Rocky. Recently accused him of hitting him with a firearm. There was a whole trial. Rocky got let off. Now he's allegedly dissing Relly on this record. And on a side note, I'm not sure if Playboi Carti is still signed to Rocky. I believe he was at one point. But stay tuned for the first verse from Rocky since this trial went down tonight on this Cardi album. Now, you're also going to have The Weeknd, who's been collaborating with Cardi a lot as of recently. Obviously, they have the Timeless record. They also have the song Popular, two massive hits of the last 2 years. To no surprise, we'll be seeing him again on this new project. There was a Juice WRLD and Playboi Carti song that just leaked, so that might be one of the features as well on this album. Akademiks says they use a Luther Vandross sample on one of the songs. That's the same sample that's on Slow Jams by Kanye West. And he says there was a massive artist that was featured on that song as well. So that's possibly Kanye West, but he doesn't know if that song was able to get cleared. Apparently, XXXTentacion has a hook on one of the songs that they did way back before he passed. The OG Cardi fans are going to be happy to hear that Uzi is actually a guest 2 times on the album. Apparently, he has his own interlude on the album, which Akademiks says he's bringing back that purple hair energy, that, 2016 freshman class, old school Uzi energy. And then there's the first record that they've done together since 2018, which is going to be on the album. Apparently, it was recorded in the 2023 Pink Tape era, which in my opinion was a pretty bad era for Uzi, but apparently this is a great verse. Akademiks also said that the Young Thug song is more of like an R&B singing type song. Again, more globally appealing and a lot more left field than the rage type music that Cardi has given us, especially throughout 2024. Now, the strangest feature that is apparently going to be on this project is actually none other than Justin Bieber. And Cardi recently just shared a clip of him FaceTiming Justin Bieber. Akademiks also confirmed he will be on the project, so that should be crazy, man. And again, according to Akademiks, there's going to be a lot of moments that will be on the timeline tomorrow from this album. He says one feature is going to completely stop the show, and that's what everyone's going to be talking about. I have to assume that's going to be Kendrick Lamar and whatever he says on this project. I'm assuming he's going to come with some insane energy. And again, just to list you guys off the features we could expect tonight, it's going to be Rocky, Kanye potentially, Uzi on 2 different records, Young Thug on an R&B sounding record, Kendrick Lamar talking that talk, Travis Scott, Future on a song that already leaked, Justin Bieber, XXX, who will be doing a hook on one of the songs, The Weeknd, and potentially a Juice WRLD record that has also leaked. So an insane feature lineup. I'm hoping to also see Lil Wayne here. I like that he kind of, he didn't keep it too traditional. He switched it up with features like Justin Bieber or XXX or The Weeknd or Rocky. Rocky doesn't really pop out too much. Maybe Rihanna will be on there as well. Who knows? But I love how damn near scared Akademiks sounds of the moment that this album is about to create with that one feature he's talking about. The one feature that's talking that talk. We know that's going to be Kendrick Lamar. And whatever he says on this project is definitely going to cause mayhem on the timelines. Because even if he's not, addressing everything he's went through over the last few months, like aside from Drake, think about all of the other people who have been hating on Kendrick, right? You had all his issues that he had with Andrew Schultz, Lil Wayne after the Super Bowl stuff, Snoop Dogg after GNX. Who knows what direction he'll take it? And even if he doesn't say a word about no beef related things, even if he's not talking that crazy talk, I mean, this is Playboi Carti and Kendrick Lamar we're talking about. You can imagine like just the sound of this song overall is about to be absolutely insane. And Akademiks seems scared for him, man. He really does. But aside from that, Drake seems like he's trying to come prepared. He dropped 7 different pictures on his Instagram, which, you know, he used to say trigger fingers turned to Twitter fingers. Now it's like he's become Mr. Twitter fingers with all his different captions on Instagram. And here is no different. The captions are strange. The images are even weirder. So one picture is him in a hockey mask and a Canada hockey jersey with the caption saying, "Still on my ones." All the titles are spelt with $signs instead of the S's, $3 to be exact. So you got "Still on my ones," then you got "Solid as a rock," then you got "Silly rabbit," you got one picture with no caption on it. The next one says "Sway," the one after that says "Sixer," and the final one says "Bob Jackals." So are these new song titles? Is he dropping like a little six-pack? I mean, we know thanks to the surgery in Ozempic, he dropped his physical six-pack, but maybe we're getting a six-pack of songs here, right? And this would be a smart move, you know? Try to stomp on Kendrick's moment with Playboi Carti, take the attention away. We only got about an hour and a half till these massive moments happen, so buckle up, you guys, because it's going to be a crazy night no matter what goes down. Insane features on this new project, a moment that people have been waiting for over 4 years now, and Kendrick Lamar celebrating the 1-year anniversary of his legendary moment with Atlanta native Future, with an even more insane moment with another Atlanta native in Playboi Carti. No doubt some craziness is about to go down. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I will catch you in the next one.